Hello, and welcome back to AI Mistakes. Today we're going to talk about ChatGPT Code Interpreter Plugin. It's well worth the cost of admission. Of all of the AI tools that I've subscribed to, this one I'm really excited about the capabilities that are being added for paying subscribers. If you've not had a chance to learn about Code Interpreter, I've got some really exciting things to show you. Code Interpreter has the ability to analyze data, to load external files for you to interrogate them. It will help you write code, and it will even generate code to create visualizations of the data that you're working with. Some have compared this capability to having your own data scientist assistant to look through your data and help you answer questions and glean additional insights from the information and data that you already have available. And so far, based on my own experiences, this is exactly what I'm seeing. On the channel, we've been looking closely at tools that revolve around low code and no code capabilities, and this one's at the top of my list. So without further ado, let's jump in and make some AI mistakes. All right, here we go. I'm going to go up here to ChatGPT 4 and choose the Code Interpreter plugin. Just to note, if you have not enabled this plugin in your settings menu, you will need to go into the beta options and enable the Code Interpreter plugin in order for you to be able to use this tool. I probably had access to this for quite a few days and didn't even realize it, but I've got it today, and many people I've seen on social media have also received access to it today. If you don't have access to it already, know that it's coming. OpenAI have declared that within the next week or so. I'm going to start by loading up a file. Now, I've not done this yet. This is my first chance in playing with this data, but I am blessed to have a Tesla solar and Powerwall set up on my house. It's been a lot of fun to have that. I've had it since 2018, and I get data from Tesla. I've been tracking this in a series of CSV files. Now, we're going to bring that in and start asking questions. So I've given it a very generic prompt. It's taken all of the data, it's captured the headers, got all of the headers appropriately. It's understanding the data and where it's coming from. I want to understand trends. Like, I would like to understand. So today I'm using this data to understand how much we're using, how much we're saving. I've been able to aggregate the kilowatt hour production each year and actually understand how much money we're saving by getting the power from the sun versus paying the provider. Now, in the data set, November is when the system was installed in 2018. In 2023, I only have data that goes up until the end of June because we're in July now, and I do the data in batches of a month. So it's saying that we had peak production in 2019. That makes perfect sense because the system was brand new. So now I'm asking it what kind of data analysis can it provide? I know that there's lots of information in this data that we could use. All right, let's do seasonal trends first. How does our energy consumption and production vary by season? Identified some sort of a problem with the date. It's going to reformat it. That's exactly what we want. We wanted to identify things that aren't right and go ahead and fix it. Now writing the Python code to do this analysis, and I don't know why this is having difficulty with the date time. They're all exactly the same format. Really no. It's interesting to watch it do this in real time as well, because you can see that it's having some difficulty with the seasonality. We don't have season information in this file at all. It would have to extrapolate that, and it looks like it is really stuck. Then this is what can happen with these systems. It's important to understand that it's not a perfect system, but it can be really valuable. I think the best analysis that I've read in my studies is thinking about these AI systems as sort of an intern or a junior assistant, where they have some very specific knowledge that you don't have, and they can do some things that you may not be familiar with or aware of, but they also need quite a bit of guidance. I'm going to let this try one more time. It's going to create a new date column and redo the time zone. Let's see if that gets it. Ah, yes. See, it has resolved the seasonal column needing to be generated for the year. So that's got us past the problem. And it did that all automatically. I did not have to reprompt it. So the thing I'm observing here is the code interpreter is also smart enough to figure out what it needs to do and to keep trying until it gets there. Okay. So it looks like it's performed that analysis. Now we're gonna go back, and it gave us a few other ideas. I'm kind of curious about the day of the week analysis. That could be interesting. And this is interesting to me because this is data that I have. It's data that I've wanted to do things with. I'm not a Microsoft Excel master. I know how to do a pivot table and update the information, and I've kind of taken that really to the limit of my ability. So having it do this additional analysis is really actually useful to me, and it gives you a chance to see kind of some of how it works and some of the things that it can do. What I'm particularly interested in is that it is taking and using the libraries that are available to a data scientist. It's defining that code and then giving us a result to play with the information. So it looks like it's done an aggregate analysis across each day of the week, across each of the years, yearly production, and create a bar chart. So this is something I've already created with the pivot table. It'll be kind of interesting to see what Code Interpreter does when I ask it specifically for a chart. And look, there it is. So we can see that the total output in 2018 was very low compared to the rest. And then it looks like we're right around the 14,000 mark. Let's try another exercise here. I think we've got one more round that we could do. So let's go back up and look at the other kinds of analysis it can perform. It's got a yearly progress. So let's ask it for that. Yearly progress analysis. All right. Great stuff. So I came across some prompts. So let's throw something in here. Here we go. So that is a bona fide optical illusion. Those blocks are exactly the same size, but because of the way they are drawn, it looks like they are constantly changing size. The lines are perfectly parallel. What a cool example. All right, that does it for our exploration of Code Interpreter in ChatGPT. I hope you found this useful and maybe learned a few things. I'd love to hear from you. If you have questions, drop a comment. Let's talk. Maybe we can help each other and discover new ways, new things to look into and learn about together. And as always, go make the mistakes. I hope you're enjoying the channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time on AI Mistakes.